you ever had an answer to a prayer? One day, I look up to God, I say, God, I need help. I'm doing well in the business, I'm making money, but you know what? I need somebody. I need somebody. And on February 1995, this man that's going to come up and speak walked through the doors of my office. I had no idea who he was. He was only one of 40 recruits that month. But this man, he got his ring in 7 months, and then he came to a convention like this, and he walked out of it and he said, Greg Cap, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get you to CEO. And he pushed so hard. It's almost a legendary CEO run. Then he became a millionaire before he was 30. Then he started a children's charity when he was 30. I've been around the world with this man, going around. Now him and his beautiful wife, Cam, they got 4 beautiful children. They're adopting a child from Africa. You know, when people are lined up to go to heaven, these people are getting in first. But you know what? His team loves him. And you know what? His leaders, they put on a call, they said, look, we got an opportunity to produce, to get this man the EC. Do you know that last year Jeff's team did 40 million and this year his team did 80 million? I get to see all Jeff's checks, right? And you know what? The last check was so big it didn't fit on my phone. His last cycle was $1.3 million. Please help me welcome up the newest EC, my best friend in the world, Jeff Levitan.
Introducing Executive Chairman Jeff Levitan. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now.
What a time. What a time to be alive, everybody. It's great to get introduced by your mentor and your best friend in life. And you know, that's what this business is about to me many times. It's the fame and fortune maybe at the beginning, but long term it's the friendships, it's the relationships. I can't wait to get to convention every year to see people I haven't seen for a while, and we're growing together. I see Jamie's kids and family and what they're doing, and Eric's family's growing, and I just look around and all the friendships and all the relationships. I go to about 12 weddings a year. I go to so many christenings, and everybody's having kids, and it just keeps getting more and more and more, and it's awesome. I love this business, and you know what I love most? It's where you come from. You can end up anywhere. It doesn't matter where you come from. Look at this little graphic here. I want to show you this picture. If they can pull it up. South side of Chicago, baby. If you saw me when I started in this business, you probably would have passed on recruiting me. You know how we look for 8-pointers? You look for people that are married, over 30, kids, solid business career and background, promising people, right? People that look like they might turn into something. Man, back then I was a 1-pointer. I was 24, single, broke, no kids, living in an apartment, wasn't happy with my life, wasn't happy with where I was in my job, and you know, and then somebody, thank goodness it was a close call, but somebody prospected me anyway. And you know, it changed everything. I got a shot. I got my one shot. And sometimes that's all you get is one shot, and you got to do something with it. I know a lot of you are here today, and believe it or not, this is your one shot. And I hope you treat it that way. I look around and I see all the new people. This is your first big convention. And you know, I think about the ones who were here last year, who swore they'd never leave this thing. They sat out there in the crowd and just like you said, they're feeling something welling up inside, and they said, you know what? I know this is what I'm going to be doing the rest of my life. And then they let adversity get to them and they're not here anymore. We've all struggled in this thing. We've invited people that didn't show up to meetings. Anybody here ever invite someone and they didn't show up? Have you ever had someone call you from the parking lot? They said, I'm coming right up, and they still don't show up? How did they get lost from the parking lot to the BPM? People, they become clients and you're so excited you celebrate all the way home, and then you get home and there's a message. I changed my mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or your best friend quits. You heard that so many times today. What I like about that messaging is this. When it happens to you, remember it happened to all of us. And it's not that it's not going to happen, and it's not that it's going to ever feel good. It's not. The question is it worth it or not? And the fact of the matter is, it's always worth it, and it's worth it times 10. You got to go through all that stuff to get to where you are and where you want to be in life. A lot of people say, Jeff, I don't like rejection. I don't like making phone calls. And people telling me they're not interested. I know this thing is good, but I don't like the way that feels. People always ask me, what's your biggest struggle? And my biggest struggle is I'm an emotional being like everybody else. I don't like my feelings hurt. And when I'm really believing in something and trying to win, and someone tells me no, I don't like the way it feels any more than anyone else. And you know, I don't always feel like going to BPMs every Tuesday night and every Saturday morning. But someone told me once, and I love this, just on the other side of I don't feel like it is everything you want in this world. Just on the other side of I don't feel like it. So if you don't feel like going to the gym, well, probably all the fitness you want is right on the other side of I don't feel like it. You don't feel like working on that relationship or troubled problem relationships you have, just on the other side of working on it is enjoying your life and enjoying all your relationships from that day forward. And you need to go through the struggle, everybody. We've all been there, we've all done it, and I'm here as living proof it's worth it. And all the leaders in the front and all the leaders on the floor are living proof that it's worth it. I'm a blessed man now, I've got a blessed life and a great family. If you want to bring up that next slide, look at that beautiful family. Man, that's what I'm the most proud of in my life right now. And I love it. My wife's right up there in the front row with my mother-in-law right next to her. You know who referred in a ton of business at the end of my big push? My mother-in-law. I love it. The family did get behind me here and help finally. That was awesome. The in-laws, the rest of my family didn't help much, but that's why they're not here on the front row. I hope they watch this. I hope they watch this on YouTube. They're gonna watch and be mad. They should have referred in some more business. I ain't playing. Forgive me, Lord. Greg Cap is still trying to teach me this unconditional love thing. I'm working on it. It's still very conditional. I'm a work in progress, and I just want to tell you. But man, it was a close call. I almost wasn't here. This guy named Dean Chang, man, he handed me a video, and it was the right guy at the right time at the right place. But had I not been recruited, I don't know. A lot of things would be different today. We did start a children's charity. We did travel all over the world. We are adopting from Africa. We're going to adopt from Central or South America next. We're going to change this doggone world. And I'm glad you're going to, I would say with or without you, but you're with us, aren't you? You wouldn't be in this convention today if you weren't with us. You know, we may have differences of opinions and styles and business once in a while, but you know what I love about all of you? Man, we're on a mission. We're on a crusade to go change this world and make it better. Rich Stolley gave one of the greatest talks in Hawaii this year. He said, you're either going to just enjoy the world or you're here to change it and make it better. And it's kind of one or the other. And man, I want to be on the changing this world and make it better side. I'll enjoy it along the way. And I'm going to enjoy changing this world with all of you. Look, I got a couple stories to tell you, but I just want to tell you, who's your close call? Man, it was a close call. What if someone didn't prospect Eric Olson? What if Mike didn't talk to him while he was at the job and he just, man, that was a close call. He almost didn't talk to him. What if Eric didn't talk to Juan Jaime? Or he didn't talk to Paul and Gabby Hart. What if someone didn't prospect John Shin and Arlene never prospected Jamie Villalobos and Jamie never prospected Elon Michael, who never brought in Dina and Fredo? What would it be like? What would the world be like today if that close call went the wrong way? You all in this room, you were a close call. Somebody, man, they were belly aching over prospecting you. They weren't sure. We think they just did it off the cuff. They were probably thinking about it for months. They probably drew it out and sketched it out. How am I going to talk to them? They probably hung up on calling you 6, 7 times. It was a close call, but you're here today. Who's your close call? So you can't afford to have these close calls. That's why we just need to TTMP, talk to more people. When we get home, everybody, you know what we need to do? Maybe before we get home, we have social media today. We might need to be hitting up everybody the next 2 days while we're here. Not during the meeting, during the breaks, and tonight. But man, you got to get back to all those people who told you no, or the ones that are on your chicken list, the ones you didn't feel like talking to. Because just on the other side of I don't feel like it is what? Everything you want in this world. Everything you want. Most people don't hate their life, but they want a better one. They just happen to get very comfortable with the life they have, whether it's good or bad. I've been living in bad conditions before. I lived in a little junky apartment and drove a beater car that I didn't know if it would start or not. And you've been there too, many of you, and I'll tell you what, you get comfortable with that. You don't like it, but you're used to it. There's a little story I want to share with you. This criminal was brought before the king, and the king said, you have 2 choices. You can take the noose, the rope, or you can take what's behind that big, dark, scary iron door. Which one do you choose? And the criminal said, I'll take the rope. He said, okay. And they went over there and they put the noose on his head and he said, King, let me ask you one question real quick. I'm not going to tell anybody, obviously, but what's behind the door? And the king paused and he said, you know, freedom is behind the door, but it's surprising to me how many people are so afraid of the unknown that they almost immediately pick the rope. What's your rope? What's the thing you're so comfortable with, even though you don't like it, that you pick it every time instead of the unknown? You know what the unknown is to all of us? That next level, June. It's that next level of life that's calling out to us, that wants you to go there. You want to experience it. You don't know what it's like to have your own office. You don't know what it's like to lead lots of people. You might not know what it's like to have wealth or money or influence, but you ought to try it on. You ought to try it on. Most people love Halloween. It's one of their favorite little holidays because they get to be something they're not for once. They love it for just a day. Let me just try to be something I'm not for a day. Well, if you're tired of not being successful, why don't you try for a day what it would be like to be successful? Try it on. Try on being a good leader. Try on being positive. Try on getting up a little earlier, working a little harder, putting your nose in. Just try it out. Try it out. You might like it. That might be the new identity that you form for yourself. Most people are trapped in their vision for their life that they're living right now. And they miss out on what they could be. The real question is, how do you really see you? How do you really see your life? Not when you're on stage talking in front of a lot of people, but I mean when no one's watching. When you're at home, no one's watching. Do you think you're a superstar? Do you think you're meant for greatness? Do you think you're meant to influence other people's lives positively or make a huge impact? Take a look at this. It's one of my favorite pictures. Look at that. Oh, you can't go wrong with a kitty picture. Ever. See, here's what I happen to know. Unfortunately, a lot of you are that big old Siberian tiger looking at yourself and thinking you're just a little kitten. You have the reverse of that. I'm not technically savvy enough to reverse the picture. But imagine this. Most of you are actually powerful. You're creating God's image. You got this great opportunity. You live in the United States of America with all of its problems. It's still probably the best place in the world to live. Trying to get to this great country. Still pretty darn good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And you know what? You're looking at yourself too small. You're playing too small. You're living life a little too small. You got a little too comfortable, maybe a little too quick. You lost a little bit of your edge. You're not as competitive as you used to be. I know all of you used to be competitors. You know how I know? Because you always get hurt at picnics playing sports. You think you're still good, but you've gotten a little old, and for a minute you get competitive again and you find out your knees, your back, you're just not like you used to be. But somewhere inside there's a champion, there's a competitor, there's somebody that still wants to win. And there's somebody who still should be trying to win. We pushed real hard these last few months. I'm so proud of my organization and the team, but the whole company. But our team in particular really pushed themselves hard and stretched themselves the last 90 days. And they worked really hard. I'll tell you what happened the last 90 days, because we more than doubled our best 90 days ever. More than doubled. But here's what happened. 25% of the people worked harder than they ever did in their life for 3 months. 50% of people did just a little more. And 25% did what they always do. But everyone, all these people doing a little bit more made a big difference. You know what that tells me? We got a lot of upside potential left. You know what that tells me about you all? You all have a lot more upside potential left. As good as it's going, it really could go a lot better. But the you today and what you tell yourself and the way you see yourself will be the determining factor of whether you go and do something great or not. One thing we've been chanting since our kickoff meetings, all of our kickoff meetings, there's about 15 of them in my organization in December and January. So we went to all these, and you always try to come up with a chant. Some of them are goofy and some of them aren't professional and all that other stuff, but you kind of come up with this thing where you go woo, whoosh, boom, and then you say something. Hopefully something witty or cool or good. Usually it's not. Well, we started something this year in our organization. It was best year ever. That was it. Whoosh, boom, best year ever. And we've been saying it a lot of times a day, every single day. And I believe that the spoken word has creative force. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand that, and they keep telling themselves they're a loser. They keep telling themselves they're never going to win. They keep repeating all the bad things that happen in their life, making themselves a victim, which also traps them from ever going and doing and being and achieving anything. And they keep reinforcing their weaknesses. But as soon as you start speaking things like, hey, best year ever, going for my promotion, gonna make a difference, gonna help families, pay it forward, whatever you say that's positive, that's reinforcing, could make a huge difference in your life, because your inner ear cannot tell the difference between whether you said it or someone else did. And the fact of the matter is, you just keep reinforcing that. Psychologically, it'll help you out a lot. So we're going to end this session. I want to let you know this. We have to be back in here at 12:45. It doesn't give us a lot of time. It gives us about 45 minutes. To be exact, maybe about 50. You got to be careful. Don't trample everyone on the way out the way. But I want to end with this. We're going to whoosh it out. Boom. And I want to do 3 times as loud as you can. Throw caution to the wind. If everyone else around you is doing it, it won't be that silly. We're all going to get on our feet and get our blood flowing. Stretch out your hammies. And when we whoosh it out, boom, whoa, whoosh, boom. Best year ever. Best year ever. Best year ever. You ready?